What is going on, guys? It's Razorclad. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a Melee Zero tutorial. We're going to be running this on OP level 8. So I'm just going to go over some of the gear, why we use it, and get to know a little bit about how to play the game with Melee Zero. So first I'm going to show you the gear, kind of go over everything, what it does. So the expansive rapier, the prefix doesn't really matter. It always comes in a bladed prefix. This is the highest melee percent damage in the game. As you can see, it has a 200% melee damage. That is the single highest melee multiplier in the game. I use the Evisceration Ruby as sometimes my primary weapon, sometimes my secondary. This obviously has to be the bladed prefix. For the melee build, it'll give you 50% melee damage. The important part about this weapon is that any damage that's dealt while you're holding the gun will give you, I believe it's 16% health regeneration. So however much damage you do, you will get 16% of that health back. I use a Slag Pimpernel to slag enemies, and then I have a Norfleet shock type to get up if I go down. I use the Grounded Love Thumper. I use Grounded because of the, I'll get to the grenade in a moment, but this has a Roy damage. It's the third highest Roy damage in the game, behind the Hide of Terramorphous and I think the Punchy. The Hide of Terramorphous is probably the single best Roid shield in the game, but it's a little bit harder to manage because you have to consistently strip your shield. The nice part about the Love Thumper is that the recharge delay is 213 seconds, so once you strip your shield once, you don't really have to worry about stripping it again. I will actually be using the Legendary Ninja class mod for extra melee damage, backstab, resurgence, killing blow, ambush, and follow through. The Chain Lightning is a grenade that I use. So this is important because, one, if you throw it at your feet, it will strip your shield, which will allow you to get the Roy damage bonus from your shield. I also use it because when you throw it, it bounces to other enemies, and if you throw this while you're holding the Ruby, you will be getting a significant amount of your health back to get above Health Gate. And what Health Gate is if your health is above half health, you will not be able to be one-shot by any single enemy in the game. The exception to this is damage over time and barrels. Barrels can one-shot you. And then for the relic, I use a Bone of the Ancients in the shock type. I just get a little extra shock damage for the Norfleet and from the grenade. That will just allow you to get a little bit extra health. And the most important part about using this is the cooldown rate. Another key important part is the skill build. This is obviously the most important part. So we're going to go a little bit over into what trees to go down and what to put your points where. This may not be the perfect build. This is what I use. This is what I like. So we're going to start with the Bloodshed tree. So we're going to put all of our 5 points into Killing Blow, which is basically enemies with lower health. You'll do an insane amount of melee damage to. So once you get them past a certain point, you'll almost always one-shot them. This is boosted by our class mod up to 1,000%, or yeah, excuse me, 1,000% melee damage. We're going to do Iron Hand as well to increase our melee damage by 50%. We are going to be skipping over Grim. Grim is probably the skill that you want the least, because every time you kill an enemy, your shield will begin to regenerate. You absolutely do not want this, because if you have your shield, even a little bit of your shield, you will not get the Roy damage from that shield. I don't really see the point of Be Like Water. Usually you're not using your gun, so your next melee attack doesn't really do a ton. Backstab, you get an extra 80% melee damage for hitting an enemy in the back. It's pretty useful. Execute, this is the skill that has a when you have an enemy in your crosshairs and you melee, you'll dash forward and you'll do a significantly more damage to them. Follow through, I like this one because it'll give you a big movement gain after you kill an enemy. Also increases your melee damage by 80%. So I put all 5 points in that. Resurgence, when you kill an enemy with a melee attack, it restores 40% of your health. This will keep you above Health Gate when you're, close to dying. Like the Wind, it's not a super important skill. It doesn't do a ton, but when you're moving, it gives you a little bit more melee damage. And then Many Must Fall, so this allows you to stay in deception after you kill an enemy, as long as you actually fully kill the enemy. So next we're going to go into the Cunning Tree. Oops. So I put 5 points into Fast Hand, so which increases your reload speed and swap speed. Reload speed and swap speed. This allows you to switch between your weapons pretty quickly. Counter strike, so after you get hit, your next melee attack has a chance to do percent plus 250% damage. I don't do fearless because we don't use guns for the most part. Our gun damage is not primarily what we're going to be doing to kill enemies. Ambush, when you strike an enemy from behind, you do an extra 40% damage. Unforeseen, this is, some people say this is unnecessary. I put the points in here. I don't know, I think it's okay if an enemy, you know, gets blown up by your decoy, or the shock damage can sometimes get rid of their shield. Death mark is extremely important. This is what allows you to throw, this will allow you to have an extra 20% damage on an enemy. Rising shot, every single time you successfully kill an enemy, if you land a hit on an enemy, it gives you a stack of damage. Innervate, this allows you to regenerate your health. It gives you movement speed while you're in deception. Two Fang I didn't use because we don't really shoot our guns. And Death Blossom, this allows you to throw kunai and put death mark on an enemy. The remaining 5 points I just put into headshot because there's really not a whole lot of other places I could put them. I guess I could probably put them into like the winds, but overall there's really not much place to them. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's pretty useless in that tree, but I don't know. I kind of like it, just in case you know, we get something with the Pimpernel or anything like that. So this is my overall skill build, and we'll get into the gameplay then. So let's just do a little bit, run through this a little bit, kind of show you, you know, how it works. So I usually have the ruby out as my primary weapon because of the just the health regen. So another thing to note is that when you throw your kunai at enemies, see how my health just went up after I threw that grenade? That's why I do that. So after you throw them, you want to wait a moment for them to explode, because otherwise there's a good chance that it will come back to kill yourself. So I'm going to slag him. Actually blow up that barrel first, then I'll slag him. My deception. It's also pretty important to get the backstep bonus, because that extra percentage will actually add up and be quite significant. Where is he? Okay, so these heavy nomads are kind of annoying. Make sure we get it. Wait a moment for our kunai, and then we can go ahead and kill him. See that? We actually just died to our kunai. I don't know if you noticed that. We should be able to kill this guy, no problem. Make sure we strip our shield. Didn't kill him. That was actually pretty close. Actually, we went down there for a moment. Retreat for a second. Wait for my... Let's see if we can't shoot this guy. We'll just let him blow up. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I'm not sure why we went down. That was kind of interesting. Probably this barrel, actually, now that I think about it. Alright, let's just strip our shield. Ooh. That actually might have been what killed us, was our Another interesting thing to note is the melee's attacks do not actually have a vertical range. So no matter how high an enemy is above you, melee damage, you can do melee damage to him. So let's see if we can. Uh-oh. You just set off my trap guard. Your death approaches. A little bit of a bad spot here. Oh, he killed us. Well, that's probably going to be death of us because we're in an extremely bad spot and we died very quickly. So that's unfortunate. Flying enemies are probably the one weakness that a melee zero build has, because for obvious reasons you can't usually melee them unless they're directly above you. But yeah, usually when you are using your chain lightning you want to have the ruby active because of the after it bounces off the ground it probably will hurt you, but the effects should bounce to another enemy, restore your health just like that one did there. See how easily we got our health back with that grenade? Man, we are not getting good luck with killing these guys today. Let's just keep running through the enemies, see what we can do. It's a bomber, we don't care about him. Again, we instantly regain our health with the chain lightning grenade. Alright, let's run up this staircase and take out these enemies. Uh-oh. Another really nice thing about the chain lightning is it actually regenerates its grenades. So you don't really need to worry about picking up too many grenades. That was probably a bad move, because now he's going to have an upper hand on us. For deception, we're good. Don't really know where my kunai went, but we'll just kill him anyways. There we go.
And I disappear, a ghost amidst the combat, preparing to strike.
We almost killed him. If you ever stalled around an enemy, wow! I just killed myself with my own grenade. That was dumb on my part. Let's just get up with the rocket launcher. That's why we bring it.
Assassins never die.
Yeah, usually if you're just meleeing an enemy with the grog nozzle, every hit will be able to get you above health gate. Uh-oh. And that would be due to a barrel that we died there. Hopefully we can kill this guy. And we're not going to be able to. So unfortunately we went down there. But that's pretty much the gist of the melee zero build. Overall, I'm not really sure if I want to be using the legendary ninja class mod, or there's another class mod that regenerates a little bit of health. Let's see. Let's compare the two. So right now I'm using the legendary ninja, which gives 64% melee damage. I usually use the legendary hunter because of the cooldown rate, but I think that the melee damage overall is probably going to be much more effective. So let's just do one more little bit of round to see if we can kill more of these guys. There's a lot of guys around here. Let's try and clear this area.
How hilarious. You just set off my trap card.
How did that not do any damage to him? That was weird. Some of our attacks didn't actually do any damage. I don't know. Oh, fire melon killed us. Let's just get up.
I disappear. A ghost amidst the combat, preparing to strike.
Yeah, this area can be a little bit potent because of all of the barrels everywhere. That's unfortunate.
What is next?
Okay, we're going to take a moment to regroup here. Make sure everything's reloaded. Get these guys aggro again.
The true world revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
That guy is going to be a little bit dangerous. Oh, hello.
Assassins never die.
Where did he go? There he is. So we just have this little pocket of enemies left. Let's try and slag him. Go. Now we should be able to kill him. We almost killed him. Uh-oh. This guy needs to die. See? That didn't do any damage. That was really weird. Uh-oh. I'm not sure what they are. Oh, they're down there. Got it.
How hilarious. You just set off my trap card. Your death approaches.
Wow. You got me with that. Well, I think on that note we're gonna call that a tutorial. It wasn't the cleanest gameplay, but it kind of gives you an idea of how to use Melee Zero. It's a pretty difficult play style. Overall, it's a very fun play style though. If you can get good with it, you can do a lot of damage to enemies in a very short amount of time. So I think that will be all for today. Hope you enjoyed it, learned something, and I'll see you guys next time.